Welcome to another story made by Oracle 1. The Sighing Tower. Nestled far beyond the whispering woods and past the silver-glimmered rivershade, there stood a tower older than memory, its stones weathered and crowned with tangled ivy that shimmered faintly under the moonlight. It was known to the nearby villages as the Sighing Tower, for every night, as the world fell into sleep, a deep, mournful sigh escaped from its ancient stones. No one knew the source of the sound, but its echo rippled outwards, unsettling the night's stillness, stirring the air like a gentle but insistent wind. The villagers spoke of curious legends. They said the tower was cursed or blessed, depending on whom you asked. Those who dared stay asleep through the sigh did not awaken quite the same. They rose speaking languages no one could understand, a cacophony of unknown scripts and words tangled upon their tongues. Some called it a gift. Others whispered dreadfully of madness. Still, the tower remained, silent in the day, but every night, it sighed. In the village of Elmsmere, just a day's journey from the tower, lived a young scribe named Era. Her days were spent poring over ancient scrolls and forgotten tomes in the dusty, creaking halls of the village library. Era was fascinated by language, the way words could build bridges between souls and worlds. Yet the mysterious transformation that gripped those who endured the Sighing Tower's breath stirred a restlessness inside her unlike any book she had ever read. Era's closest friend, a humble woodcarver named Bram, was among the many villagers who feared the tower. His father, a stalwart blacksmith, had passed last winter after spending one restless night in the village after unintentionally sleeping through the sigh. When he awoke, the once sturdy man spoke only in cryptic phrases, complex vowels and consonants that no one could decipher, filled with strange names and lamentations. Confused and frightened, he lost his grip on reality, whispering endlessly about the lost tongues of the depths. Bram cared for him until his final days, watching as every trace of reason slipped away. Era felt a burning urge. The mysteries clogged her mind. What language could compel the tongue like that? What force had spun it into existence? And most of all, what did the tower sigh for? One evening, as a rose-colored dusk glazed the horizon, Era and Bram stood by the riverbank, watching ripples catch the dying light. "I have to know," Era murmured, voice tinged with determination. "Someone has to stay through the tower's sigh. We must find what voices it leaves inside." Bram shook his head, concern knitting his features. "I won't lose you like others. I'll stop you if you go." But Era's mind was made. That night, with a small satchel of modest provisions and her father's old amulet, said to ward off evil spirits, she slipped away from Elmsmere. The moon was high, a brittle crescent casting cold light upon her path. The woods grew thicker and more ominous the closer she got. Eyes glimmered unseen in the thickets, and the air was heavy with a scent half familiar and faintly metallic. Then she saw it. The Sighing Tower loomed ahead, dark and enormous against the night sky. Its windows seemed to blink like dull eyes, and ivy writhed slowly as if alive. The sigh slipped out once more, deep and breathy as a giant's exhale. It curled around Era like a low melody, almost hypnotic, almost sorrowful. Era settled beneath an ancient oak at the tower's base and closed her eyes, surrendering to the sound and the night. Time slipped away in the sighing tide. When dawn finally spread golden fingers over the land, she awoke to a strange sensation. A flutter of unfamiliar warmth within her mind, unnameable words tickling the edges of consciousness. Her lips parted, and she spoke. The voice that emerged was not her own but a weaving of strange syllables, cascading rhythmically like a liquid stream. It was neither harsh nor gentle, it simply was, an exotic tapestry of sounds and intent. Era blinked, panic pricking her skin. She struggled to grasp meaning, but the words would not bend to her will. And yet, in her chest, beneath the alien lexicon, she felt something peaceful, a deep knowing, as if the breath of the tower was a doorway. Over the following days, Era dwelled on her new gift, determined to understand it. She recorded the words in careful script, attempting to match the sounds to familiar tongues, but all proved vain. The syntax defied earthly grammar, yet it whispered tales of ancient things, the rise and fall of civilizations lost beneath the sea, the migration of stars, and a language older than time itself. As the nights passed, Era found herself compelled to return, each time sleeping through the sigh's haunting melody. With each awakening, the language grew clearer, revealing itself as the tongue of the Eolerns, mythical beings said to have woven the fabric of wind and breath across all lands. One night, as the tower exhaled its mournful breath, Era encountered a vision. She saw, through some veil of reality, a grand chamber within the tower, swirled in mist. Within it danced luminous figures, woven from the essence of breeze and shadow, the Eolerns themselves. They wove words not with voice but with breath, shaping the sigh into spells and stories that traveled through sleep like seeds cast by the wind. They explained that the tower was a conduit, a living archive of their history. The sigh was not sorrow but a song, a lament and a celebration, of the endless cycles of life and transformation. Those who slept through it became vessels, carrying the ancient tongue to a world that had forgotten the wind's wisdom. But there was a cost. To embrace the language was to stand between worlds, forever changed and unable to fully return. Era awoke from the vision surrounded by quiet dawn light and a profound resolve. She took up the ancient language, her voice a bridge between the Eolern legacies and her village. With Bram's hesitant blessing, she began teaching the villagers what she had learned, not the alien tongue itself, but the essence of understanding others beyond words, empathy and communion with the unseen currents of existence. In time, the Sighing Tower's eerie reputation softened to wonder. The villagers no longer feared the sigh, but welcomed it as a rhythm of life, a constant reminder that beneath the mundane lay ancient mysteries woven by winds older than time. Era's voice, once earthy and steady, became filled with strange melodies that touched hearts deeply. The languages forged from the sigh taught humans to listen, not only with ears but with souls. And in that listening, they found a new language, the language of connection, of breath shared and histories remembered. Thus, the tower sighed on, night upon night, a timeless breath threading through sleeping minds, echoing the eternal song of the Eolerns, and weaving a world reborn in the understanding of voice and silence. For more stories, like and subscribe.